6 NFL teams are looking to hire new head coaches, and on today's episode, I'm going to tell you who they're going to bring in. What's going on, y'all? Mitchell Renz here from Chat Sports. You're watching NFL Daily, and I got a fun show on tap for y'all. So as mentioned, 6 head coach vacancies. They are the Jacksonville Jaguars, the Los Angeles Chargers, Houston Texans, those are the first 3. The next 3, the Atlanta Falcons, New York Jets, and the Detroit Lions. So out of those 6 jobs, who do you think, or which job is the best opening? If you were a coach and you're like, okay, I get to pick from all 6, let me know down in the comments section what you're going to go with. I'll let you know a little bit later on in the route I would end up going. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to try to look into my crystal ball and predict. But what Chat Sports is, we are an interactive YouTube channel. So what I want you to do on all 6 of the teams is I want you to put like Chargers, who you think they're going to hire. Jets, who you think they're going to hire. Do it for all 6 teams. And the first team that we're going to get into here is the Los Angeles Chargers, who finished with a 7-9 record, fired Anthony Lynn after 4 seasons. I'll be honest with y'all, I actually thought they were going to end up keeping him after the Chargers won their last 4 games. But if you're going to go out and hire somebody, you need to find someone who can maximize the quarterback talent that is Justin Herbert. And, well, get yourself back into the playoffs after missing it the last 2 seasons. So when I look at the top Chargers head coaching candidates, they have already requested to interview Joe Brady. Arthur Smith is a new and up-and-coming OC. Matt Eberflus, Eric Bieniemy, and Brian Daboll from the Buffalo Bills. So before I let you know who is going to be the head coach for this team, I want you to go down in the comments section and try to predict it for me, because that's what I'm going to end up doing. So the head coach of the Los Angeles Chargers is going to be, Drew, drumroll, please. I'm going to go with Eric Bieniemy, and I'll be honest with y'all, I actually projected Bieniemy to go to the Houston Texans because that's who Deshaun Watson wanted. But the Texans are the only team that didn't request an interview with Bieniemy, and out of all 6 of these jobs, I think the Los Angeles Chargers job is the best, and I think Eric Bieniemy should be on top of the list of everyone. So for that reason and that reason alone, I'm going to go with Bieniemy to the Chargers, because also, well, maybe he knows how to beat the Chiefs, because that's something that all the NFL teams are going to be looking to do. So any single time an NFL team moves on from a head coach, here at Chat Sports, we make a video about it. We made Anthony Lynn replacements, and guess what? We made replacements around the Detroit Lions when they let go of Matt Patricia. Those are some coaches that they go hire. Adam Gase, who the heck's going to fill his shoes in New York? I know my family especially is wondering that one. What about some other coaches like the Texans? As soon as they decided to move on from a guy like Bill O'Brien, I mean, that was a simple one in my opinion. They needed to get rid of him real quick. Will they hire one of the people on that thumbnail there? That still remains to be seen. The Jacksonville Jaguars, they're in the news today, and we're about to get into them in just a second. The bottom line is this. We make tons and tons of videos here at Chat Sports, and what I want every single person to do, okay, I want you to go down to the pinned comment, because I'm going to make the pinned comment on this video, all 6 of these replacement videos. So seriously, go check them out, because it's the top 10 for all those teams. The Jacksonville Jaguars next up here on our list, 1-15. They do have the number 1 overall pick in this upcoming draft, which should inspire some people maybe, plus a ton of cap space, a lot of draft capital, and that's why this job is appealing. Now, they did have probably the worst season in their franchise history with 1-15, but I know there's going to be a lot of NFL coaches and maybe a college coach that's interested as well. So who are the top head coach candidates for Jacksonville? My top 5: Raheem Morris, Eric Bieniemy, Arthur Smith, Robert Saleh, and Urban Meyer. Guess what? Y'all are going to see some familiar faces on all these lists, because all these NFL teams are looking for the best guys in the biz. But this team is a lot different than everyone else, and I actually think that they're going to reel in a giant fish that is Urban Meyer. He is interviewing with the Jacksonville Jaguars today. I'm filming on Friday, and it feels like it's Jaguars or bust for Meyer. And I'll tell you what, y'all. You give Urban Meyer, Trevor Lawrence, the amount of draft capital they have, and then the amount of draft picks that this team has, this could be a really intriguing scenario. Urban Meyer reportedly wants about $12 million a year. That's a lot of money for a head coach. But if I can get somebody to turn around a program like the Jags, I actually think Urban Meyer is one of the best in the NFL and, well, in college football. One of the best deals on the internet right now is our jersey hookup. Go to chatsports.com/jersey sale. We have hundreds of NFL jerseys under $80, and some of these, I'm not kidding you when I say this, are literally $34. It's mind-blowing. Like, if you guys want a Baker Mayfield, Odell Beckham Jr., or that Julio Jones jersey I just showed you, they're seriously like up to 65% off. If you need a new NFL jersey in the offseason, we got you covered. Chatsports.com/jersey sale. I'm going to put that link for y'all in the comments and in the description. All right, let's get to the next team here, a team that's creating a lot of headlines recently. It's the Houston Texans, and if they're going to bring in a head coach, they need to bring in somebody that Deshaun Watson wants. Now, obviously, I've already mentioned my whole Eric Bieniemy spiel, but this is a team that needs to totally change their identity and bring in not just a head coach, but also a GM that's going to inspire some confidence in this team. So my top Texans head coach candidates are Smith, Joe Brady, Jim Caldwell, Marvin Lewis, both of these coaches who they've already interviewed or planning to interview, and then Brian Daboll, offensive coordinator of the Buffalo Bills. A few days ago, Deshaun Watson tweeted out, "Some things never change," which is actually why I'm going to end up going with this pick, Brian Daboll, who is a disciple of Nick Saban and Bill Belichick. And new GM Nick Caserio, I'll tell you what, that's the connection there, and I think that's one of the biggest reasons why they didn't bring in Bieniemy, because they have their eyes set on Brian Daboll. He is the ideal coach to maximize Deshaun Watson's outlook and total potential, but at the end of the day, Deshaun Watson wanted somebody. I would have at least brought him in for an interview. To not give him that chance, shame on you. So which head coach opening is the worst? Earlier I told you that I thought the Chargers were number one. I'm split between the Jags and the Texans. I'd probably go Texans 2, Jags 3. The worst head coach opening is actually going to be coming up right after this ad break, so make sure you guys don't go anywhere, because this is a team that, I'm sorry, I wouldn't really be very interested in. It's the Atlanta Falcons, and they fired Dan Quinn after an 0-5 start. The issue with Atlanta is this. Sure, they have the number 4 pick in the 2021 NFL Draft, but all their key assets, Matt Ryan, Julio Jones, I'll even say Todd Gurley, they are way past their prime. Plus, the third fewest amount of cap dollars entering 2021. So if I'm a head coach, I'd have to be able to be very confident, and hopefully you can turn things around in Atlanta. So here are the top Falcons head coach candidates as it stands right now. Robert Saleh, Joe Brady, Brian Daboll, Arthur Smith, and Eric Bieniemy. So out of those 5 coaches, which one of those 5 do you think is going to be able to come in and prove, say, hey, I got confidence, I'm going to be able to turn things around here? I'm going to go with Arthur Smith. And only 2 years as the team's play caller, but the Titans' offense has totally taken off. And not only that, totally rejuvenized the career of Ryan Tannehill. So when I think of Atlanta, what they could do, will they keep a guy like Matt Ryan, or could they go another direction, maybe in free agency or draft? That still remains to be seen. But I am confident that Arthur Smith's going to be able to come in there and get the most out of their quarterback play, and hopefully get the most out of some running back play as well. But that still remains to be seen. I got Arthur Smith going to the Atlanta Falcons. Now, if you guys like what we're doing here at Chat Sports, I appreciate that. If you want to talk to me more about NFL, fantasy football, literally anything that's going on in your life, hit me up on Instagram. I'm at Mitchell Renz 365. The New York Jets, they're next up here, 2-14, and they fired Adam Gase, thank the Lord, after a 9-23 run there. And I mean, as soon as they hired them, it was a matter of time before they decided to move on. They do hold the number 2 pick in the 2021 NFL Draft, but I mean, this is a team that I think was trying to tank, and they couldn't even tank right. Plenty of cap space, draft capital. This makes the Jets' job appealing. And anytime you're in a big city, I get that they play in New Jersey, but anytime you're in a market like New York, that's going to bring a lot of attention in. So when I think about the top Jets head coach candidates, I think of Matt Eberflus, Eric Bieniemy, Arthur Smith, Brian Daboll, and Robert Saleh. When we first made our replacement video, I was hyped up for Matt Campbell. Doesn't look like that's going to end up happening. So I'm going to go with the coach that they requested to interview first. That's Matt Eberflus, defensive coordinator of the Indianapolis Colts. The new trend in the NFL is to hire offensive minds because, let's face it, the NFL is an offensive-generated league. So this would be a little bit of a different move, but Matt Eberflus has done a phenomenal job transforming the Indianapolis Colts defense when, I'll be honest, I really didn't think they had that much talent. And this is another interesting thing. He interviewed with the Jets and rejected a Texans request to interview him. Maybe he already knew where he was going. I know I'm kind of reaching for straws here, but Matt Eberflus, he's going to go to the Jets. Now, if y'all love the NFL, if you want more videos on trades, free agency, NFL mock drafts, we got you covered here at Chat Sports. Even though it's the offseason for a lot of y'all, don't worry. We're going to keep you updated. So my man Tom Downey just released his latest 2021 NFL mock draft, and for the last 3 years, Chat Sports has been the most watched NFL draft coverage on YouTube and maybe even on the internet. If you want to see Tom Downey's latest mock, go check it out. It's on the channel. Just another reason to hit that big red button that says subscribe. The last team on my list here, who's going to be the next Lions head coach? Don't go anywhere. We're about to tell you. They fired Matt Patricia after 3 seasons, 13-29-1. Sorry, that's just not going to get it done. They need an identity. They need a culture change. The city of Detroit, they have some of the best fans in all of football. They just want to see somebody that can frickin' win. So who are the head coach candidates? They got Darrell Bevell, Dan Campbell, Arthur Smith, Eric Bieniemy, and Robert Saleh. If you follow me on Instagram, if you follow me on Twitter, you'll know the route I'm going because I have said this for months and months and months. It's going to end up being Robert Saleh. Why? This guy, he wants to go back to Detroit. He's said a few times in a few interviews, little hints here and there, that he would like to be able to go back to Michigan, but this is a team that wants to have a defensive-minded coach as their head coach. That's why they hired Matt Patricia. It just didn't work out. And the other thing about Saleh, he's going to bring that fire, and even though he's been a popular name at some other roads, he's going to interview other places. He's going to end up at Detroit. I am very confident in that. If you made it this far in the video, I appreciate you. Remember, go down in the comments and let us know who's going to be the upcoming head coaches for all 6 of those NFL teams.